in a minute. Welcome to the Social Media Breakfast of Houston. Good morning. I want to hear you. Can you make sure you hold this above the, yeah, there you go. Hey, Kenya. Well, maybe. It should, yes, yeah. We're not good. Okay, so I may have to hand it back and forth for a minute while he figures that out. But before we get started, let me just say that I'm very excited to have everybody here. There's a lot of amazing people in the room. And those of you who are listening online, we're happy to have you here too. So thank you for attending.
Testing.
We will take, oh, hey, testing, it works. We will take questions from you online as well at the end. So make sure you put your questions in the chat. And for those of you here in the room, I want to hear from you directly. So start thinking about the questions you want to ask. Before we start, I do want to thank a few people. First of all, our sponsors. Without this, honestly, we couldn't do it because this is a free event and has been for 16 years. So that's because of our sponsors. So a big hand for our sponsors, please. Thank you. The Ion here where we're sitting, they help us with that, and through Impact Hub, which is an amazing organization that helps organizations that are doing value work for our communities. They are here in the building as well. They have provided the breakfast in the back. So thank you, Impact Hub. And also we have other sponsors, including Mighty Strategic, which is Jennifer Tejada's organization, who is my co-founder of Social Media Breakfast. Smart Social Mastery, which is a mastery program for PR, marketing, and consultants. So let me know if you're one of those, because we have that. And then also Trish Badger, who's here too. I saw you come in. Where are you? Over there. Yeah, our photographer. So she helps us with a lot of like really important photography things that we need. And then Speak Fest, which is Freddie Cruz, who isn't here this morning, but Freddie Cruz is putting on an amazing podcasting conference that's coming up. And so I would like you guys to know about that. It's here up on the screens, so as you go by. But Speak Fest is coming up, Night of the Living Pod. So a lot of people who start podcasts like don't finish them. You know, they start them and they just become dead ends. So what he's doing is putting on an amazing conference to help you. If you are interested or you have a podcast, you definitely need to go to Speak Fest. Here's the funny part. He's having it at a funeral museum, like Dead Podcast. Get it? Oh yeah, it's going to be fun, guys. We're going to have a good time. I'm speaking at that conference, so I'm excited to be doing that. October 10th through 11th, 2025. Make sure if you're interested in that, you scan. He sponsored us for the next 3 social media breakfasts leading up to this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Give him a hand. Thank you. Thank you, Speak Fest. So we'll put that out as well on the socials everywhere. We'll put the link for that there. Just look for that coming up. Awesome. So that being said, we are going to get to the program. Woohoo! So yeah, it should be. So Kenya, I am so glad that you're here. Kenya, I'm so glad you're here. You're the CEO of If You Create It, a video marketing and consulting agency in Houston, Texas. She is amazing. I've seen her teach, and you want to be a part of any of her events that she does. She does a lot of online teaching and virtual events. And so you make sure you scan her code that's up here and go and check her out, because she is amazing on that front. So in just 4 years through vertical video making, Kenya has grown an audience of over 600,000, generated over $2 million in her business, and has helped thousands of business owners scale and market their business online. She recently helped one of her clients reach over $1 million in her business in 10 months on the TikTok platform, which we'll talk about today. But it's even more than that, right? Because you help people across a bunch of different platforms as well.
Yeah.
So welcome, Kenya, to our home here.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that. It's weird to hear somebody read your bio, but it's like, oh, that's me.
That's you. I know. It's crazy. So Tori told me to make sure you hold it up high and on your, like, no, this part, your hand.
I'm sorry, what?
Hold the
this
higher. Yeah, there you
go.
Awesome. So that's good. So tell us a little bit about why you're here. First of all, I want to start with your journey, because I feel like your journey is so interesting in the sense that we all are in a place sometimes where you feel like oh, we're at the bottom of the barrel, we can't do this. You just decided to take this on. Could you just give us a little bit of your background on your journey
of TikTok or in general,
and why you started TikTok, and you can do a little general too, like how did you get to Houston, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I've always been very entrepreneurial, and I'm a big risk taker. I didn't know that's what it was, but I've always been a big risk taker. And my journey kind of started in network marketing. I was recruited in network marketing when I was in college. I thought it was a pyramid scheme because like my dad failed at it all the time, but I got recruited by a really hot guy, and I was like, well, let me just join this and see what happens. That's the truth. But I ended up, he was a really good mentor person. And so I ended up reading all these books because he made me read books. And I ended up becoming the top salesperson in the state. I mean, all these crazy things happen. I even had this one moment, which is kind of where like my career kind of like started to shift, where I had so much success in the network marketing company that they invited me to come on stage at the convention for like 2 minutes. I was like 21 years old, and I spoke for 2 minutes, and whatever I did tore the house down, and like they couldn't keep going. They had to push me back on stage for this ovation, and it changed kind of like how I saw myself. And so I became this like salesperson who felt like she could do pretty much anything. And over the years, I started my own business for people with natural hair, like because Black women, our hair grows out like this naturally, but I was putting chemicals in my hair and it was making it straight. And so one day I decided I want to see what my hair looks like. So we cut it all off. Long story, I'll keep it short. And I launched this convention and was like, I can do anything, because I had experienced what people could do in network marketing. So I felt like I could do anything. And I started having these huge trade show events. But the kicker was that I had no hair care experience, but I had design and sales, and I just had this belief in what I could do. And all these big companies were calling me like, who are you? And like, who did your website? Who did this? And I'm like, what do you mean? This is not how everybody looks. And it just kind of made me go, okay, I really have something. To fast forward, in 2016, Periscope came out, which was a live streaming platform through Twitter. And I watched people who were making a lot of money selling services online. Well, at the time I was in network marketing and I was working for Sprint corporate. And I was like, well, I don't know what they're doing, but I want to get in on it. And so I started just teaching people what I knew about personal branding. People wanted to hire me to coach them. And I was like, I don't understand. So I started investing in coaching, and I launched my own brand design agency. And it wasn't at 2020 is how I got to TikTok, because I was building my business on Facebook and Instagram. And when COVID was happening, nobody knew what was happening, but I was afraid of a recession, because as a business owner, I was like, I don't know what that looks like. And so I'm somebody who prays. And so I was praying. I was like, God, what do I do? And I heard God tell me, get on TikTok. And I was like, that's the devil. I was like, that's the devil. I was like, there is no way I am hearing God right. We're all in a death valley right now. So I was like, maybe I'm just fearing death. And I heard TikTok, just being honest. But I was like, I kept hearing it. And I was like, I could be hearing something that is 100% right, or I could be going crazy. I'm going to err on the side that I'm hearing right, because I have a really close relationship with God. And I got onto the platform and I started creating, didn't know what was going on. I felt really old because I'm 44, even though I look 21. Ow. Yeah. Sweet. And I was like, let me just figure this out. And then I had a video that went viral, and I said, I'm being told something big that's about to happen, and I needed to focus in on it. So I just focused all in 2020 while everybody was fighting online about everything. I was in my house doing dance videos, like trying to learn TikTok, and it changed my entire trajectory of my life and my business. And at the end of that year, I canceled my design agency and said, I'm going all in on video marketing, and everything has just catapulted since then.
Right. And that's amazing. So thank you for that, because that is amazing that you came from that thought pattern. So how did you get to Houston though?
Oh, so this is such a spirit. I'm glad we're in the Bible Belt, because I can say this stuff and y'all get what I'm saying. If I said this in San Diego, they would be like, what? So I'm very spiritual, and I hear God tell me to do things. And so I was living in Virginia, and he told me to move here like 10 years ago. And I did. And I lived here like for 4 or 5 years. I was healing from my divorce. And so then I went to California, and after being there for 5 years, I was told to come back. And I was like, thank God. So I've been back now for a year.
And that's been amazing. So you've come back, and I just want to say this before we start. You mostly do what I call B2B marketing, right? So you're helping small business owners with their businesses, right?
Yeah.
So, but when you came home, or here, I'll call it home. I'll call it home.
Yeah.
When you came back here, you did something kind of interesting to me.
Crazy.
And I've been watching you well, I'm a community person. I'm a community builder. Look around you. This is what I do, right? This is what I love the most. So I'm always in search of other community builders and looking at other community builders. I noticed you right away. Also because of the amazing things you were doing with TikTok, but also because of the community you started building immediately when you walked into the door in Houston.
Yeah.
So could you tell me what happened with that? Because it's not even about B2B marketing. So it's something slightly different.
Yeah. So I am a very self-aware person. And when I moved back to Houston, I kept saying to myself, I'm going to be lonely. I'm going to go crazy. And I only have cats. I don't have any kids. I'm single. If y'all know anybody that likes black girls, let me know. I'm
Cat
single.
lady.
I'm single. Okay. All right. Anyway, so just shameless plug. Anyway, so when I got here, I was like, okay, I'm trying to date and I'm going to all these events and I'm like, I'm not really finding what I'm looking for. And I'm trying to make friends. And I'm like, I don't want to meet people who know the social media me, like my business me. Because when I meet them, they want me to help them with their TikTok. And I was like, I want to make friends. I don't want to be coaching my friends at dinner, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, well, let me create a second account on TikTok and so they won't know that side of me. And so I started creating content about my life in Houston, menopause, all the things. Ladies, you guys know what I'm talking about. Talking about all the different things. And then it started to really grow because I was just implementing my own strategies. And someone said, hey, you should host a meetup. Well, I was freaked out. I was like, I don't want to meet up with these people. And I was like, but you can't make friends if you don't meet up with people. So as a business owner, I created a Google form and put it on my TikTok and was like, hey, if anybody wants to meet up, I want to get out and make friends. If you're lonely like me, because you work from home or whatever, fill out this form. And I was hoping for like 50 people. Well, a week later, it was like 100 and something people had signed up on this form. So then a couple of weeks later, it was like 300 people. And then it was like 1,200 people. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So then I went to this arcade and was just like, yo, I got all these people, kind of host an event here. And they were like, sure. I was like, they didn't charge me anything. I was like, I'll bring all these people to you. And so in one weekend, it was like a Friday, Saturday, we had like 400 and something people come to this event. And they were all over 30, just wanting to get out and make friends and looking for a way to build community. And so since then, we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people come to all the different events. And we launched this thing called the Social Infusion that's designed to just help people over 30 get outside and make friends. And it's been cool and weird because they don't know this side of me, the business side of me. They just know the social media me that they met online. So it's like when I meet people in person, I'm like, oh, they're trying to get to know me. And it's been very helpful.
No, I love that so much. And I went all the way back to the beginning of your TikTok on this, just like, when did she start this? I think it was May. Wasn't it? Something like that. Yeah, it was May of this year. Okay.
No,
next year,
last year. January.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went back as far as I could go. Anyway, it was like recently. And I think you have like about 50,000 people signed up for that page right now.
50,000. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. So that just shows you that if you make something that is actually valuable to people, they will come. You know, it's like us trying to market to everybody. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, humans are humans. You know what I mean? They're looking for someone, looking for something, and they just have to know that we exist. Like, I didn't know what I was looking for, that other people were looking for the same thing. And if I just put it out there, then they're looking for what I'm looking for. So the same way with my other account on TikTok and Instagram, when I'm teaching social media, people are opting in or coming to it because they're wanting to learn something. So I've just learned that no matter what it is we're trying to do, that there's people looking for those same things. We just have to market to them.
Sorry, I just made the crossover into like, I know you don't want, I don't know what you don't want. Yeah, but
it's fine.
I think it's good because it just shows you that you can build something like that in a very short period. Because I think a lot of people have objections and you hear them all the time. So what are the biggest objections you hear, let's just say, to building a TikTok page?
Yeah. So the number one objection is that it's all young people, right? Again, I'm 44 years old. I mean, I like to think that I'm young, but I'm not 20. I'm 44. And so a lot of people feel like that TikTok is what it was in 2020. We all learned about TikTok with the dance things and the funny things people were doing, or that one viral video someone showed us. But it is like, it's completely evolved into something completely different, right? Now, are there still young people there? Yes, but there's young people everywhere. And when you think about the average, like, who here watches TikTok videos? Raise your hand. Exactly. And everybody, and the people with their hands up, who here is over 30? Exactly. So the thing about it, I always tell people is that, like, TikTok is in that phase of what Facebook was 20 years ago, where we were like, there's no way I'll ever market my business here. I would never post anything here. Now it is helping people run their entire corporations, you know, with ads. And you're looking at TikTok and you're like, people are still kind of thinking it's still that thing that they saw in 2020, but businesses are just crushing it. The businesses who are really looking at what could be happening there are crushing it, and it changed the entire industry. Like, if you look at TikTok and you look, okay, see, if you think about Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of them, if you look at them back in 2020, they all looked the way that they looked. But now here in 2025, they all look like TikTok. They all have that short video component. They're all focused on the short video component. And it's not because they wanted to, it's because they had to. They had no choice. TikTok was beating the brakes off of them, right? And they were like, we're losing to this platform. And it's because the way that how we are as consumers, our attention span is like this, right? And so the fact that that platform has caused all these other corporations to spend millions and millions of dollars to completely change their business models should say something to us as a business of like, oh, this place is changing everybody just by existing. We probably should be there.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the things I wanted to cover with you, is that every platform requires a short form video component. So can you talk a little bit about that? And like, while we are still like struggling to go over to TikTok, like how do we use like video right now across platforms, and should we be?
Yeah. So with us, like, I mean, I love TikTok, I love video, but I like living my life, right? And so I'm somebody who our team, we create one video and it gets shared on all the platforms, right? Now we create it in our phone and we edit in like a software like CapCut, and we put it on all the platforms. Why? Because everybody is in different places. Like my best friend, she spends all her time on YouTube. So I want to catch her on YouTube. So she'll catch me on YouTube Shorts, right? Because she'll be there watching whatever she's watching, and then my short will catch her there. Well, there's certain people who, like, I'm a public speaker and I want to reach certain companies to speak at their conferences. Well, I don't really have time to do all the long form content. So the same short video I'm doing, I'm placing it on LinkedIn Shorts, and I'm reaching all those people there, right? And so the thing is that the people that we're trying to reach, they're consuming content in all different places, right? But they're consuming it for their own entertainment purposes. So everybody has all the things that they like to watch wherever they like to watch it, and you want to reach them wherever they like to watch content. And it's the same kind of one piece that you're doing that could be helping you grow everywhere.
That being said, you said the word CapCut, because somebody will say, what was that tool? I'm telling you now, CapCut is the tool. There's other tools too that you can use, but that is one. That one is actually connected with TikTok, but although it'll work on any of the platforms, it doesn't put the logo on or anything.
Right. No.
Okay. All right. That being said, the other thing is the length. So are you doing like a 60-second, 90-second? Like, tell us what length you're using so that you can use it on all the platforms.
Yeah. So most of the average person, you've got a shorter period of time with that person. People are not going to spend a long periods of time typically watching long content. They will if that's their intent. If they're going to YouTube, they know that this video is going to be longer than a traditional, right? But because the average attention span of a person is 8 to 11 seconds, you got to get your message done, right? Now on TikTok, you can upload a video up to 60 minutes right now. Like a lot of times when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I have it pulled up and I'm just watching or listening to whatever the video is. But I tell people that if you're just getting started with short video, then try to keep your videos 30 seconds or less. It could be hard initially because you're so used to talking long form, but 30 seconds or less. Eventually, you want to get to the point to where you're like, okay, sometimes your videos are 15 seconds. They don't have to be super short to be successful on any platform, right? But short form by definition is a video that is 1 minute or less. But think about your own behavior. When you're searching for something and you're trying to learn a thing or whatever, what is your behavior? You're looking at that thing saying, how long is it? And so if you feel that way when you're watching something, people feel the same way when they're watching yours. So when you're filming, you got to go, if this was me and I was watching me, how long would I give this before I'm gone? And that's how long you want your video to be.
Yeah, that's really good. And one of the things I have seen on YouTube, which is my platform, I guess, that I'm on the most, is these short form videos. And then there's a link. And when you click on the link, it goes to the longer form content, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn about all that. So that's interesting as well.
Yeah. That's one of the strategies that YouTubers have, is that they're doing these short video clips, which is an extension of the long video. And so you've watched what you've watched and now you're hooked and you're like, where's the rest? And you get to the comment section, it's linking to the longer video, which is going to help them make more and all that type of stuff. So it's just a strategy for YouTube.
I love that. So you said hook. So, I mean, I have to go there, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good. So a hook, we hear that a lot. What is that and why? And you teach this. So tell us a little bit about hooks and why they're so important and what we should be thinking about.
Yeah. So basically, anytime you are creating a video, your audience usually is going to scroll away within 2 seconds. Okay. Like if you go to the back of an Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, it's going to tell you your analytics, and they're going to pay very close attention to what happens in the first 2 to 3 seconds, right? Because most people, when they're holding their phones, they're not giving you 10 seconds to convince them to watch your video. They're looking and they're just scrolling. That little thumb is just moving because whatever has happened in the first 2 seconds, either you're staying or you're going. So that means you've got 2 seconds to get somebody's attention. And so we call that the hook, right? We used to call it clickbait. That's the reason why you would like you're clicking and making somebody come into it. So when you're creating any kind of video, I don't care if it's a political ad, a church ad, it's a bit whatever it is, you've got 2 seconds or they're gone, right? That's the same way that happens when we're watching TV. When a commercial comes up, people are like, either I'm going to watch this or I'm going to go to the bathroom or get a snack, right? So when you're creating any video, something should be happening within that first 2 seconds. We like to call it like 3 different types of hooks, right? Well, first thing, anytime somebody goes on social media, your videos are muted, right? When you open up the platform, it's muted. And something that's happening in your video has got to make them want to hit unmute, right? So it's not about what they heard, because they don't hear that first, it's what they see, right? So when it comes to your hook, it's what are you doing visually and what's the text that's on screen. All right. So have you ever seen some of those dramatic openings that someone's doing, or they've got certain words up there? It's because they know that their video is muted. And so something that they read in 2 seconds or something that they experienced watching you has caused them to want to open up your video. So the hook is the visual hook, the text hook, and then it's the audio hook. Audio hook is last because they may not ever hear it until they click unmute.
That is really important to understand. So one of the things I will say about that is that a lot of people here might not, and I could poll the audience. How many of you here feel really comfortable making videos?
Oh, that's good.
Okay. So I will just say that we're talking about maybe 3 or 4% of the room, maybe 5. I don't know if we're lucky. So what do you do about that? Like, I mean, I would love to make a bunch of videos. It feels like the right thing. Yes, you've totally sold me. I need to make more videos, but it really sucks to make videos. Like, how do you make videos and not like give up your whole life to making videos? And how do we do this?
Yeah. So first thing, if I always have to, when I talk to my clients, I'm always like, why are we making videos, right? What is your intention behind making this video? And are you the right person that should be in the video, right? So like if you hate video and you don't want to be on video, then it's probably should not be you in the videos, because if you hate it, we're going to hate you. Right. I mean, it sounds mean to say, but it's kind of like if you're not enjoying doing it, then guess what? It's not going to be enjoyable for us. Right. We've all seen something and we're like, oh my God, or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and so it
sure.
may not be you that should be in the video. Right. But if you hate it, you're also going to ask yourself, why do you hate it? What is the feeling that you're having? Sometimes it's just that you don't know how to show up in a video, or you're not comfortable or confident. And so a lot of times with our clients, we're trying to help them like first understand what is the feelings that they're having when it comes to video, or what are the lies they're believing. And sometimes it's that they think that people are going to be mean to them because they've been mean to other people on video. And so we say, stop doing that. And then second, we say, okay, like, let's just figure out what is, because sometimes if you like, you don't want to post things because you don't want people coming at you because you've come at other people on social media. But other times it's that you've seen other people come at other folks and you're like, I don't want that, right? And so we try to go, okay, that could happen, but also what could happen is that your business could explode. This could be a huge opportunity. And I always share that my own experience, how scared I was when I got on video, because I had just gone through a divorce and I was like, oh my God, my ex-husband's going to show up. Oh my God. Oh my God. But I was like, either I can not do it in fear of him showing up, or I can do it and make millions of dollars. And I was like, we're just going to not worry about him and deal with ourselves. And he never showed up, you know, and even if he did, I didn't notice. But I had to deal with whatever feelings that I had, right? Then I had to start practicing how to create good videos, how to be comfortable on video, because a lot of times we're not used to doing this and then putting it out there for the whole world to see, right? And so once you kind of understand what you're doing, how you're feeling, and you're practicing it, then you start learning the art of, okay, in my opening, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then you start the whole editing process. Does that answer it?
I think so. I mean, it definitely helps. I mean, there's still more.
Yeah.
I have more questions. Yeah. Another question I have about this is, do you need a lot of equipment? What do you need to have in order to start like doing video? Like what would you recommend?
Yeah. So you just need an updated smartphone, right? Like everything that I do for the most part all happens on my phone. This is not the latest iPhone, but it's a updated iPhone. I'm not an Android person. Sorry, Android people.
Well, I am, and I use it all the time.
So I call those Tonka toys. Just kidding. I'm not kidding, but no.
I know we're gonna fight later. It'll be all right.
Yeah, it's fine. So you literally just need your phone, right? And then for editing, you just need like an editing app. I will say I didn't edit using an editing app for 4 years. Okay. I used my phone to film and then TikTok to edit because I was so intimidated by using CapCut and some of the editing software because I'm a creative. I'm not a technical person. So learning something technical, I have to like do it on a Saturday, turn all the lights off and just go like, okay, let me focus to learn a thing. So it took me 4 years to finally start learning. But when I finally started, I was like, okay, this is not as hard as it seemed. I made it harder. But you just need your phone and then whatever platform that you're going to be posting in. And if you want to, you can use an editing software, but you don't have to when you first start.
No, I think that's really important to say. Now, if you do that, though, if you use TikTok or Instagram, you know, they have edits now. They have this app called Edits. If you use one of these to edit your video, do not then take that video and put it on another platform.
Correct. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So what my experience has been is that if I edit a video on TikTok and I post it and I use a software to remove the watermark, typically I'm still going to do okay in Instagram, right? If I film a video in Instagram and I try to bring it to TikTok, it's going to flop. Right? Because it feels like that the software is much more sensitive on TikTok and it can pick up the fact that this video came from Instagram. So I have not experienced as much that a TikTok video is picked up on Instagram at what they recognize it. But when I bring it to TikTok from Instagram, like I had a video I posted to TikTok from Instagram and it took like 2 hours to hit 200 views. I redid the video and then within 10 minutes, I had 1,000 views. So I was like, okay, the software is very sensitive. It's like, don't bring the devil over here, right? You know? Yeah. So I just go, okay, let's just film on my phone, editing CapCut, and distribute everywhere.
Yeah, and I opened my video apps so I could remember everything. But InShot is one that's really good that you can also use. I actually use this one called Filmora that you do pay for because I can use it on my desktop and in my phone, which is really nice. I also use DU Recorder a lot where I record my screen.
Oh yeah.
So like I'll record like other things. You know how you see those people, they have some other thing going on in the background.
Yeah.
So I'll record my screen and then I can bring that video in and it can be my background.
Oh wow. Okay.
So DU Recorder is pretty cool for that. So that's been cool. I mean, I have others here, but those are the ones I use probably the most.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
InShot, like InShot. But I also do use CapCut. It's right in the middle of my screen. Yeah. It's really easy to use it. It is a paid, I mean, you can do it for free, but it is I would use the paid app version so it doesn't have like the watermark on it.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive, really.
Yeah.
So I feel like that one's really good. And what I love about it is it has a lot of templates
Yes.
that you can pull a bunch of videos or things in, and it'll actually splice them all up for you. You know
Yeah.
how I think that's the hardest part if you're not a video person.
It's editing. Yes. Yeah. That's one reason why I like CapCut is because one, the editing is easy, but two, there's like so many different features that you can just go and click on a template and it'll tell you exactly what you need to bring in order to make the video good.
Like 4 videos,
Yeah.
2 photos, blah, blah, blah.
But it can be a lot when you first get started. I won't lie to you. That's why it took me so long. So my encouragement is that yes, you can get there, but first start with creating video, like on Instagram or on TikTok, and then go the other way. Otherwise, you'll just be overwhelmed and you'll never do video ever again.
Right. And another thing you can do is create a bunch of questions for yourself or something. So talk about batching. Could you talk about that for a minute? Because you have a really good idea for this.
Yeah. So when it comes to, obviously we run businesses and the last thing we want to do is be filming content every single day. I don't want to do that. I'm like trying to live my life. I'm single. I'm trying to get married, you know? And so I'm like, you know, how do I handle doing all that? Right. And so one of the things that I'm doing is that we're always scrolling on social media and we always see these creative ideas. So I have this thing in my phone, notes, and I'm like, I have this little document that says shoot this. And if I see a creative idea, I'll grab the link, I'll post it in my notes, and I'll write whatever my idea is. And I just have this long set of notes, right? And then what I do, it has to be like twice a month. The first time for the month, I do this thing called B-roll filming, right? So in my apartment complex, I make sure I always live in an apartment complex that has beautiful amenities because I want to use it to film content so I don't have to pay for an office. So it's built in. And so once a month for an hour, I will go down to the amenity space and I'll film all this B-roll. And the B-roll is basically me talking into a mic, but nobody's there. I'm walking to the left or I'm walking to the right, or I'm doing all these random things, right? But I'm filming myself in this beautiful space, right? Like my latest B-roll is kind of funny. I'm dancing on the table, dancing on the floor. I'm doing all these little things. And then we just added these little shots to make it something else later. And I filmed probably like 100 videos in an hour because each video is just like 7 or 8 seconds long. It's just the B-roll. And then once a month, in that same notes, it has the talking videos that I'm going to do. Right. So then for an hour, I would just film talking videos. Those I'll probably get maybe 20, maybe 30 done because I already have the scripts and I just film it. Then the rest of the month is where the team edits. Right. So I like to outsource because we hire people in the Philippines and they're amazing, really good at what they do. But as a small business, you don't always have all that money to spend on a high-end editor. Sometimes you just don't have it. And so our team in the Philippines, there's a folder and they know here's all the B-roll, here's everything. And then they start to edit it, right? And so for me, it lets me film when I film and I can focus on clients and live in my life, right? Because if you're trying to film every day, you'll never do it because it's just a lot, you know? And then ladies, a lot of times we feel like we got to have makeup on and this and this.
I was going to say clothes. Like when
Yeah.
you do your talking videos, you change your clothes the whole time?
Oh yeah. So when I do B-roll or talking videos, like my B-roll videos, I always have on the same pants and I'll just change out the shirt. I have like a little cami on and I take the shirt off and I change the shirt or whatever because it's an open space so anybody could like come in and see me. So I just like got a cami on, change shirt. But when I'm in my office, like I have like a little a second bedroom, I have a closet and in that closet is mostly all cover-ups. Right. So it's the same undershirt. Right. But I'm constantly like, exactly. And I'm just changing them. Or I have wrap dresses on and I'll just put a wrap dress on, take it off. And then I just like really, really fast. But it's like, it's really quick in an hour because I've got the system kind of down.
No, that's great. And one of the ones I love of you is the one of you being the shark. Do, 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 do. Remember that one? I don't know. That's a really funny one. Like she's looking at the camera really mean. Anyway, and goes by once, goes by twice, and gets closer and closer.
Oh,
and closer.
The airport one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was really good. That was in the airport.
So let's tell you about B-roll. So I was in the Dallas airport and they had the crazy storm and we just were not leaving. And I was like, I got to get home. I had something kind of big work thing to do. And somebody was like, call an Uber. And I was like, an Uber to go from Dallas to Houston? And I was like, well, if somebody picks it up, we'll see what happens. And somebody said, yes, they would drive me from Dallas. I said, well, okay. So as I was waiting, I was like, I'm going to film some content, right? So there was a sound, a jaw sound, jaws or whatever, right? And the sound, people are doing it in all these weird ways. And I said, I'm just going to sit my phone here and I'm going to walk towards the camera and look at it. And then I'm going to walk towards it again and look at it again. And that was it. And then my idea was, me looking at you trying to get you to post content. And so I wrote it on the screen and people were like, stop looking at me. That's the comments that people are saying, but I'm like talking to my audience.
I know.
But
so
initially
effective.
when you see it, you're like, this is dumb. How is she going to use this? But then now you go, oh, that's really creative. But you can do that too. You can literally do this and say, me trying to get you to hire me as a plumber. Whatever it is, me trying to get you to buy this Mercedes.
Yes.
Whatever it is, right? But it's just the creativity of first having the footage and then you can come up with the idea later.
No, it was great. It really was effective for me. I felt like you were looking at
We're
me.
talking about it, see?
It worked. It worked. I still remember it. That was like a month ago. Anyway, I remember it. So it was good. So that being said, you have these 2 folders. I love this idea so much. A B-roll folder and a talking folder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can have a stand. I mean, I think you should have like some sort of stand for your phone, right? Do you have that? So what else do you have? Do you have a light?
Mm-hmm.
What do you else? What do
so
you have?
I have a couple things. One, I have like a little suction thing and going back on my phone is in my purse. And if I'm just out and about somewhere, I can just stick it here and I can stick it to like a window and I'll film B-roll that way. I also have this little desk tripod that I got from Amazon. So if I'm sitting in my office and I don't want to get up, I just sit it on a little tripod. But then I also have a ring light because, like, the better your lighting is, obviously, the better. And when you get a ring light, there's a phone holder that goes in that. So I have one of those too. So if I'm like doing,
how do you do that with your glasses?
Oh, I take them off.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say.
So typically, I never film with my glasses because the light's like right in there, But I knew today I was like, I don't know how far this is gonna be, so I can make sure I can see people.
I have glasses, so we make sure you do not shine. Thank you, Brian.
See the girl back there.
Anyway, that's why we have him like this. Do you see how he does this? This is a very good diffusion of light. No, that's great. Because I do that too in my office, and having a place where you can go. I think that was the other thing I got from what you just said. You have places specifically where you go to do these and you know where they are and you have it already figured out.
Yeah. So like when I was moving here from San Diego and the one of the rules for the realtor that was helping me, I was like, it's got to be a nice area town, but I need to be able to go downstairs and film a bunch of content for my business because I don't have time to be paying for a content studio. And we found this place in Montrose and I was like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm not going anywhere. But also with my apartment, I was like, okay, I can do a 1-bedroom apartment or I can do 2. And this is literally could be the place where I work. Because one, I like work-life balance for 2. It's like I like to have a separation between my life and my work. So I was like, okay, have an office and it's literally set up. So like when you walk in, you're like, whoa. Because like the back is painted, everything is like all the things in the background. Then I went to IKEA and got these little white tall shelves and turned the other side of the room into other beautiful space because I'm like, I don't have time I don't want to be spending all this money and constantly going out. I just want to be able to, on a Saturday morning, I'm ready to film a YouTube video or 10 videos. I want to get dressed and I want to walk in there, film, and I want to get gone. And it's super easy for me to do. Now, I didn't start off that way, right? When I first got started, I literally had a 1-bedroom apartment and my bed was here, my dresser was there, and I had this little corner on the side of the dresser. I went to Hobby Lobby and I got like 7 little signs and I put it on the wall and I filmed in that little corner. Nobody knew I was in a corner. And I think I made like $500,000 from that one little corner. Nobody ever knew that it was just this little corner that I was filming content. I was doing live streams. I was doing everything. Then when I moved, I had a 1-bedroom apartment again. And I was like, instead of having a dining room, I don't have no kids. Anybody coming to my house. The dining room is going to be where I film, right? So I had a sheet on the dining room wall. It was so funny. But a sheet on the dining room wall and I would film there and I had this little bar stool there. I filmed there so much that I got this kitten. Her name is Faith. And one day I was in the bathroom getting dressed and my cat was just like, and I was like, what is going on? Where is Faith? She was over there on the stool acting like me.
Oh my God.
She was just, and I was like,
you needed to film that.
I missed it. I was just like, oh my God. I have a picture of her like on the sheet. And I was like, okay, this is working. Because like if this cat is imitating me, clearly I'm doing it. But I was so shocked. I was like, where is this cat?
Okay. She's a star.
Yeah, she's a star. So my point is, you don't have to have it all together because I didn't for a very long time.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you saying that. And even, I do have a lot of kids, which by the way, has been a problem too, like their background noises and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
It's been fun. But you know
what the beauty about that is that because of COVID, everybody got used to the work from home life. Like nowadays, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I have this 13-year-old cat. I'll be in meetings and I won't even notice, but she jumps on the desk in the middle of the meeting and her tail is, and I'm like, I am so sorry. Because I'm like in a professional like Zoom meeting, but they're like, it's fine. And then all of a sudden their dog will show up. And I'm like, well,
You're like, let's have a pet,
whatever. Yeah.
Pet Zoom.
Exactly. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's great. I really think it's important for all of us to hear that it doesn't have to be perfect, right? That's the key.
Yeah.
And
the only time, I'll give you all a disclaimer. So sometimes, oh my God, this is terrible. So I've had COVID like 5 times. And the gift that COVID gave me is boogers. Oh my God. And so sometimes I don't even know what's happening. And I'll film all these videos and I go, oh, ain't no way. I am not posting those. Because you look and you go, oh man. So I have this one time I had like an hour's worth of videos that I had filmed. And I was like, nope, we're doing it again. So sometimes you got to go for perfect. You can't go that imperfect.
Thank you.
That was my little shameless, like, sometimes you got to fix it.
Well, yeah, we do. We have to fix it.
I'm just
sometimes.
saying,
But of course, when you first start, you're going to be kind of bad.
Yes. Pretty bad. Yeah. I was terrible when I first got started. Like, I didn't grow up with like doing this. Like, I was really bad. Like, and I have all the videos like my first 100 videos on TikTok are terrible. And I just left them there. I'm like, I'm not going to move them. Just let people see the imperfections, and I teach my clients, like, I'm not going to make you look bad, but they're not going to be perfect when you first get started. And you got to give yourself the permission to go, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And it brings back the humanity. It's kind of like what I've been telling y'all, all these like funny stories is I'm just bringing my humanity back to you. So you can go, but yeah, she's just like us. But she's just like us. And that's the same thing your people want when they experience you and your business online.
No, I mean, that's great. And so one of the things I'm going to kind of transition to here is conversions. So I do also know that you can make videos forever and put lots of content out and then nothing happens. So can you talk a little bit about bringing people, because this is a business audience, last time I checked, how do we get to that conversion stage with something like short form video? Because it's like, there's sometimes nothing to click on. Let's just talk about that.
Yeah. So that's part of the strategy. So one of the things that I like to tell our clients is that you have to prepare that you're going to go viral. It could be your first video. It could be your 100th video. And you have to make sure that your business is ready for that, right? And what that means is that we always tell our clients that even if you don't have a full website, you want to have something that people can opt into, the period, in like the link there, right? So on TikTok and all social media, you can have a link there, right? And it's important that you don't just give people here's the website. Don't give them the full website, right? Most people never go to KeyandKelly.com because it's just full of stuff, right? But when you go to our account, there's a link and here's something you can opt into for free, or here's something that you could buy, right? Because what's going to happen is that you are going to create content and you're going to tell them to go and grab something, right? But sometimes you're going to create content and you're just teaching, serving, or whatever, and that video could blow up, right? And you want that, you don't have to go and do anything. For example, I have one of my clients, she teaches medicinal mushrooms, right? And she's a very introverted person, but we were like, before you start posting this stuff, let's make sure you have, here's this free guide you're going to give them, here's this product, and let's just put that link there on your TikTok. Great. Perfect. So she posted this one video talking about medicinal mushrooms. She woke up and the next morning she had 2 million views, 50,000 new followers, and 20,000 people joined her email list from one video. I mean, how long does it take us all to get 20,000 people to join our email list? Right?
Forever.
But she had one video, right? So the number one thing is that you create content that is irresistible for the people you're creating it for, right? And no matter what it is you're doing in that video, if they want what you've got, they're going to take an action. And 20,000 people took an action and opted into her email list. Another one, 100,000 people opted into her email list, right? So that's the number one thing, is that one, you got to create content that is irresistible and that makes people go, whatever you sell, whatever you're selling, I want it, right? Now, but there are some other ways that you can get people to the link, right? Now, with social, you cannot say link in bio, click the link, any of that. When you say any of that stuff, your content gets suppressed, right? Because you're going against the algorithm. One of the things the algorithm is looking for is that you are keeping people on the platform, right? So that means you're getting people to engage, you're getting people to DM. They do not want you automatically, when they send your content to people, that what automatically happens is they leave the platform. If that starts happening, that signal goes to the algorithm of like, stop pushing out this content, Okay. So that's one of the reasons why you want to have, like if for something like Instagram and Facebook, you can use chatbots that help cause engagement, right? But other times why you want to have like a virtual assistant, because sometimes you can't necessarily say, go to this link, but you can ask them to comment, or you can ask them to send a DM. And then now your assistant can follow up with all that. So we have our new social media managers. And their first day, I said, here's how many TikTok comments we have and we haven't responded to. It was like 3,000. And they were like, and I was like, but it's okay. You're going to respond to them as you have time, right? And then here's how many DMs we'd have. But what that's going to do is that they're going to be talking to them and what have you, but I don't have to do it. And instead of me, and now we also have that many leads. Right. So if all those people have commented, there's that many leads that we can now follow up with and have conversations with. Right. Because I love getting 1 million views, but I'd rather have 1 million comments. Right. Because I can talk back to 1 million people, even if it takes me a year to talk back to all those people. I still have them that I can talk back to versus just having these many views or whatever.
No, I think that's great. And the other thing that was interesting about what you said first is that you want people to take action. The way they take action is by going to your profile.
Yeah.
So could you talk about your profile for just a second and how important that piece of property is?
Yeah. So I always tell people that your bio, your profile is like real estate, right? So with like Walgreens, CVS, it's always on the corner, right? You know exactly what you can get when you're like, oh my God, I need Zyrtec. And you can go right to CVS and you can get it. Well, that's the same thing that goes with your profile, right? So when you have, that is your real estate. Whatever you're saying there, it's got to talk to the audience, right? So Kenya's single, she loves Jesus. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? They are on this account because they're like, I want you to help me with my video marketing strategy, right? So my bio says, we help businesses go from invisible to influential. It says nothing about me as a person because you don't care. I mean, you may care, but you don't care, right? You want what you want from me, right? And so with you and your profile that you got your businesses creating, that thing should speak so highly to your audience that they're like, they're talking to me, right? Then the link there should be taking them to just like one or maybe two things, right? So like the link that she's showing for me on my link tree, it doesn't take you to my full website. It takes you to some mini products that we have, something you can opt into, and you can join our email list. It doesn't give you everything, because if we give you everything, you're not going to do anything.
Right. And you can definitely, if you're here in the room, you can scan that, but it's Linktree/Kenya Kelly, Kenya Kelly. So you can go there online too. And it's ee.ee. Like Linktree has .ee / Kenya, which is 2 E's, K-E-E. Yeah. So make sure you take out your phone and scan that. By the way, there's a lot of QR codes here today. This one that just came up, I have to say this, it's a little bit, it just went by, but it'll come back again. You have to, because Impact Hub helps us to get this space, I need you to sign in through that. So if you guys could scan that when it comes back by, this is their way of getting the grant that helps us to do this. So if you guys could help me that way, that would be really awesome. Also, there's a bunch of them in the between while you're waiting to scan. So get scanning, everybody. In the meanwhile, I'm going to ask the audience online to start thinking of some questions you might want to ask Kenya, because we have literally, we have like 10, 12 minutes left. I want to make sure that we have that. And Brian will bring you my mic so you can ask the question and everybody can hear it.
She's ready too. No. But the online audience can't hear it. I think it was him first. He was first. He was dancing too. I was like, I'm with you. Whatever song you playing, I'm listening to it.
Hey, so for some context, my wife and I own a media production company. So you've been talking a lot about your personal brand and the building your personal brand, and like filming content yourself. How does this convert to clients? Like how are you bringing those same strategies to someone else? Like how are you applying it to somewhere else?
Yeah, for sure. So my personal brand, the personal brand is just what attracts people to me, right? And so then let's just say you'll get attracted to me, right? And you're like, I want to learn social media. So then my job is to find out who you are and what you're trying to do, and then I teach you how to create content to attract your audience. Does that make sense? Right. So like the lady Kathleen, the one that got the 20,000 email subscribers, she said, I want to make more money through my practice of this and this. And so as a coach, I'm learning her audience, and then we're helping her develop her content strategy. But we also, if we're doing one-on-ones with her, we're teaching her how to have her funnel, so that way she can handle, you know, the influx. And so we teach that, execute that. Like we have like a membership. If you're in our membership, then we're watching your content. Right. So then you're posting, we're watching, we're guiding. You're posting, we're watching, we're guiding. And then it's a repeated cycle. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So you're not actively creating the content for them.
No.
Okay. You're just coaching on how to do so.
Correct.
And leaving it up to them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if someone says, well, I need to find somebody to help me with it, then I'm teaching you how to find the best VAs that we have found for us to do the work for us too. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. We love that.
Video guy. I don't have a mic.
Oh, sure.
This is from Ann.
What are some myths versus reality from your experience, especially for businesses? I work with mostly B2B and nonprofits. I hesitate for recommending TikTok for businesses. What are some myths versus reality? So the myth is that you can't make money on TikTok. Hold on, I can't see no more. That you can't make money on TikTok, right? That it's only young people on TikTok, and that it is just consumers on TikTok. That's the myth. Okay. TikTok is today what Facebook was again 20 years ago, except it changed the entire industry in terms of how people are consuming content. Right. So if you have a business or a nonprofit and they're thinking about getting on TikTok, it's important for them to find out who are they trying to reach and what is the goal they're trying to reach. Let's just say they're trying to get donors. Well, who are donors? Donors are people. Okay. So do people watch social media? Yes. Are people in this room, are people that have watched TikTok videos? Yes. Well, then the job is to then create content to connect with those people wherever they are. Right. We have to stop looking at TikTok as this goofy dancing place and look at it as, here is the new way to do social media, which is short video.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Ben Williams. So I appreciate you, Kenya.
Yeah.
Great information.
Hey, Ben.
I run a technology company, so we do a lot of AI, business process, things like that.
Yeah.
So we always use LinkedIn. So what are you seeing from people who run like technology or companies like that for using platforms like TikTok or Instagram, anything like that? Because
who are you trying to reach?
Typically, we're trying to reach small, medium-sized business owners, and sometimes when I say small to medium-sized, typically up to about 1,000 people.
Oh,
Anywhere from
yeah.
about 10 people to 1,000 people.
Yeah. So the thing about LinkedIn has always had the appearance of like the professionals, right? But the truth is those same people that are on LinkedIn are on Instagram, are on Facebook, are on TikTok consuming content, right? It's just the art of learning, okay, here is your technology and here's how you show up on LinkedIn. But I always say this. So LinkedIn reminds me of like when we had a full-time job and there was HR, right? There's a way that you're supposed to show up at work 9 to 5, or you're going to the legal department or you're going to HR, right? There's a way you show up, right? That's LinkedIn. Well, all the other social media platforms, they want your 501 personality, right? Who are you? Who is the business at 501, not at 9 to 5? So you have to give your business permission to do something that's more creative, right? For example, like Duolingo. Duolingo is a learning platform to learn a new language. Most of us had no idea what Duolingo was, and you would think it's just boring, whatever. Okay, great, go learn a language. But Duolingo gave their marketing team permission to be creative with their marketing. Now they're the number one platform, the number one business on TikTok, because now they do more creative things. They don't do anything quite as bad as Wendy's does. Like Wendy's is just unhinged, right? But they give their team permission to do just creative things, right? So it's hard. Or Nutter Butter, right? So it's like with your technology business, it's about here's what's working on LinkedIn, but giving yourself permission to go, okay, we're going to do it just a little bit differently, a little bit more creative, a little bit more fun, right? Like to someone our age, we would say we're going to give ourselves permission to be a little more Gen Z, not all the way, right? But we're going to give ourselves permission to be a little there. And you're going to see how the strategic creative marketing is going to attract the same people you're trying to attract, but differently. So like I was always marketing on Facebook and Instagram for the longest time. And when I started creating content on TikTok and started taking those TikTok videos and posting them to Facebook in 2020, I was surprised how many people started inboxing me for my services. And I was like, what is happening? I'm like, oh, everybody else is still doing this and I'm doing this. So now it's getting their attention because I'm doing something a little bit different, right? So you don't have to go from here to here, but you're going to go, okay, this is what we've always been doing. I need to give myself permission to be a little bit more creative. And I always tell people, go to TikTok and search your industry, like 1 or 2 words. Okay. And when you do that, you'll start seeing, oh, here are professional businesses, professional software companies, marketing. And this is not bad. This does not make us look bad. We can do that too. It starts to give you the permission and the creativity of what could be happening versus what is happening. He's over here.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Doing good.
Good. My name is Sahiri. I am in the EV charging and autonomous retail industry. And I have a question for you, and it is about captions. So I haven't wrote a caption in a while. And I use large language models like ChatGPT or Perplexity to write it. And I just wanted to know what your thoughts and experiences have been with using that in terms of, is it algorithm friendly or not? Because I know when I use it, I usually go in and edit it so that it doesn't determine if it's written by a large language model. So I want to know what your thoughts and experiences have been with that.
I think it's great, right? I think that there's value in, especially time savings, if AI writes your captions for you, especially if you're going in and you're editing it. I think that that's great, right? Especially because if it already knows you and learns you, then that's awesome. Do I think that should be 100% of what is happening? No, I do not. Because I think that you or the business still has its own way and its own opinions or whatever. And sometimes you want to try to use the actual language that your customer is using. Is it easier for our time? 100%. You know what I mean? But also sometimes your audience is looking to see you speak what they say, right? So there's certain things that I don't say, but my audience says, like they say, I'm shadow banned. I'm in the 200 view jail, right? And so the ChatGPT or Claude won't say that, but they say that. So we have to go in and go, okay, that was great what they said, but we got to change these words to fit. That's exactly what she says every single time she comes on the platform. So just making little tweaks, but I would definitely use that as a guide, but I wouldn't do that 100%. Yeah. Yes. You're welcome. Do you ever use Canva for video? Felicia, listen, I'm not a big editor, Felicia. But I know a lot of people who do use Canva for video and they love it. It's very creative, lots of templates, lots of different ways to use it. So use Canva, use CapCut or whatever, but it definitely works. I'm just not a big editor because of my skills, but it works great because I've seen it.
I have a question about us creating a successful series. What are your tips on that?
Okay, explain.
So I've been watching videos about to keep people on your platform, on your page.
Yeah.
You create a successful series to keep people coming back to your page
and
to grow your audience. What are your tips on that?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So just FYI, her hand's been up for forever. Okay. Forever. Yeah, forever. Okay. So when it comes to series are 100% a great way to get people to come back over and over and over again. Like many of you guys may or may not know, there was this girl on TikTok. Her name is Risa Tisa. She created this series called Who the F Did I Marry? More of an influencer type. And the videos were like 10 minutes long. It was 52 videos. And I mean, you were just hooked into what was going on with this girl's life. But when it comes to like a business, right? So I have one of my clients, she's a nurse and she has a business that she teaches about menopause. And so we have her doing a menopause series. And so I said, don't talk all about menopause. Choose one thing that people need to know about menopause. And so her goal was like, oh, I want to get 1,000 followers in 8 weeks of working with you. Fine. So she chose, we had her search the most popular topics, and the most popular topic was your period and menopause. Her first video went viral, 1,000 followers in 6 days, right? So then she has, that's part one, is menopause series of, is a period. So then the next one is is the other one. So it's a whatever next tip. So what happens is that when people log onto the platform, they don't necessarily start at series 1, 2, 3, 4. They start wherever they start. So if they saw video 4 and it was good, they're going to say, well, where is videos 1 through 3? They're going to come back and going to want to see the rest, right? Y'all ever see one of those videos where Karen effed around and found out and you're like, whoa, what happened? And so then you go back and you're like, I want to see the whole thing. So now that you've seen the 1, 2, 3, 4, you started with Karen when she was on the ground, whatever happened to her, but then you go back to see what really happened, what started it all. So whatever the business is or you're promoting, series are an incredible way to do it. But one of the things that I would encourage you to do is that, let's just say my series is going to be on how to find a man in Houston, right? You know, working on it. I should probably do that. Anyway, well, yeah. So then I would have I would know, okay, I'm going to have 5 different parts of this series, right? So then I'll do part 1. Right. But then the strategy to get people to go through the whole series is once people start commenting on one, I'm going to look to see what's a good comment that I can click on and do a reply video to where I'm responding to that. So for those of you who don't know, somebody could comment on a video and I can click on the comment and I can do a video with the comment above me and then start part 2. Right. So if I know my part 2 is how to find a man in Conroe or whatever, right? And she says, well, what about Conroe? Well, I'll start part 2. Her comments is what about Conroe? And then I'm talking about here's how I would find somebody in Conroe. And then if someone says, what about Sugarland or whatever it is, and correct. Right. So then when you're posting these videos, it still posts on your account, whether that's going to be on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, whatever. It's still going to be on your page. So it's like video 1 is here now, and then 2, 3, 4, or whatever. But also at some point in time, you might be able to create what's called a playlist, especially in TikTok, to where here's my series on how to find a man, and you click on that playlist. Well, when you watch video 1, it's going to take you to video 2 when you finish. Take it to video 3, 4, or 5 when you finish. So it's being more strategic of how to get people to come back to the next video. And it's the reply video feature is a big one to do it. You're welcome.
Hey, thank you. This is so helpful. So we have an immersive theater experience happening in Houston. So looking to attract a geographic audience in Houston. But when I put something on TikTok, it's not really helpful for somebody in California to follow. So you see my question.
Yes. So okay. So your challenge is what happened when I created my second account on TikTok, right? I wanted my second account to be more focused on Houston, right? So I just started geotagging. So all of my content, I click on Houston as the location, right? And then all of my hashtags are HTX, Houston, Houston TX, Sugarland, Katy, And honestly, I didn't know if it was going to work when I first moved here. And the way that I knew it was working, it's kind of crazy, was I was at church and people were looking at me and I was like, do I got a booger in my nose? Like, I do have the whole booger situation, right? And I was like, what's going on? The girl's like, do I know you? And I'm like, no, I just moved here. You're the TikTok lady. And I was like, what? She's like, you're the lady that went on that dating event. You be gatekeeping. Why aren't you telling us where you're going for dates? And I'm like, because I don't want you to come to my date. But then that happened to me over and over and over and over again. I went to dinner one night with some people and this girl was like, oh my God. And I was like, what? Looking around, she goes, it's you. And I'm like, oh, Kinga, you're becoming famous in Houston because you keep tagging Houston so they know you exist. So if you're trying to do something specifically in whatever area, it works, right? So like the events I was putting on for people to make friends, somebody wanted me to bring it to Dallas. And I was like, well, let's just test this theory. Well, I got 300 people in Dallas because I just kept tagging Dallas as a location and then Dallas hashtags, grapevine, this, and that. So that's it. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh.
Hi, sorry, one more. Hi, I'm Elisa.
Hey.
Hi. By the way, love the presentation so far. It's
Thanks.
great and it's been incredibly informative. So I come from a background where I work with a lot of founders and startups, and I myself am one too. And so we are usually straddling between what we want to present from our startup, or could be a side hustle, right, versus our day job, right? And so how do we decide what part of our lives do we promote on, say, something on like TikTok? What do we talk about?
So it depends on what you are building, right? So my main account on TikTok all I promote is video marketing and social media strategies. That's it. So they don't really know any of the other stuff because I'm just like video marketing, social media strategies on that, right? But I also wanted to be able to show up as me and talk about all the things that Kenya likes talking about, like the Diddy trial and all that. And so I was like, I'm going to create a separate account so I can be more of that fun person. So that's the one that has 50,000 followers on it. And I'm just like right before I came here, it's funny. I was like, because I've been losing weight. I tried on these pants and I was like, they don't fit yet. And so I recorded a video and was like, I'm ready to go to a speaking event, but I just tried on these pants. They don't fit yet. And I just posted that on that account because I just want to talk to people about my weight loss journey and whatever, right? But that's over there. They love that stuff. The one on my business one, they're like, we don't care about that lady. Just stick to the point, stick to the script. And so I stick to the script over there and I make money with my main business over here. Over here, I have brands paying me and I make money through all those other stuff. So you just got to decide what is your focus, right? And if your focus is growing the business, then that content has to be about that. But if you're saying to yourself, I really want to talk more about myself, but you still want to run your business, then you've got to separate the two, especially if the audiences are different. Because the people over there don't want to hear me talk about my chin hairs. They're just like, ma'am, we don't want to hear about that. The ladies over here do, but they don't. And so they don't want to hear about my social media business. So I go separate. But I didn't have both of them for a long time. I had this one for 5 years. I just started that one because I wanted to have more fun in Houston. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, that's really great. And I'm sorry to end it. I
I'll
know
get you
more
afterwards.
people. So can you don't mind staying for a few minutes to ask questions afterwards? Okay, great.
No, I'm staying for her. No.
Oh, for her specifically. Perfect. Great. And so we are out of time. Unfortunately, is she amazing? Kenya is like insanely amazing.
Bring me your single friends. Bring me your single friends.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies. Okay. Put your hands up. Okay. 11:30 next Friday, we are going to be meeting at Sesh Co-working for SEO Accelerated. So we go back and forth between Ion and Sesh just because of the way that it worked this year. We are doing an SEO workshop with Jennifer Tejada and Brittany. Raise your hand. So check with Jennifer. She's my co-host of Social Media Breakfast of Houston. These are really cool extra events that we were able to add in this year. And SEO has changed a lot. So make sure if you're interested in how that's changed, this is the one to go to. We have Jennifer, who's an AI expert, and Brittany, who's an SEO expert together. That sounds really good, right? Peanut butter and jelly. Mm-hmm. On the next Social Media Breakfast, which is actually also going to be over at Sesh, we're doing speed dating, like social media speed dating. Maybe you'll come back and help us with that. Social media speed coaching. And so we're just going to have like all of us in the room and we're going to go from table to table to table, and there'll be experts at each table and you can move around and ask your questions. So it'll be super fun and more of a networking type of an event. And then in October, we're doing podcasting with Ray and Sarah. So business podcasting. They do business podcasts here in Houston. They're going to talk about video podcasting and podcasting. So we have a lot of really cool stuff coming up. Make sure you keep in touch with us. Scan the thing. If you're not on our email list, be on our email list because we let you know what's going on. And I'm really grateful to have you here. My name is Cami Hoyza, and I'm absolutely blessed to be here with you today. So thank you very much. Give Kenya a final hand. Thank you. Oh, and I have a little gift for you. All right, guys, thank you very much online. We'll see you later.